So, we're really crazy, aren't we? It's weird. Why do governments and in institutions and stuff like that, I studied economics, so I'll call them bubbles.
Yeah?
Can you give us like a non-physical comparison of what that is, or like what's building there? Because we can identify it, and people know that they're bad before they burst. But can you speak to that?
Give us a little more depth to your question about the government part especially.
Okay, well, I feel like there's like too many people that are just, something begins to fester that benefits the few that have control, and they continue this until, they continue to benefit and they don't really care when...
Well, Source doesn't see it that way at all.
Okay.
Because everything that everyone lives contributes to a collective vortex that benefits the whole. But different individuals allow themselves different access to that whole. And large segments of the population deny themselves access by blaming someone like government entities.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that government is the reason that they have not access. It means that they are denying themselves access by their belief, by their misunderstanding of this vibrational prosperity, by this vibrational abundance, by this vibrational economics, by this vibrational whatever the subject is that you're focused upon.
Right. So I'll take a current bubble that I see as an example. Like
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Tip it down a bit.
Can you hear me now? So like education, there's a lot of people that are getting degrees now, and...
A lot of people who are what?
Getting degrees.
Yes.
Like I got a degree, and a lot of my friends got degrees, but there's... Like it was a promise that we were all told. Basically, I guess it's the security in it, right?
Yeah, because no one outside of you can give you your access. Your access doesn't come with your diploma.
Right.
Or your birth certificate. Your access comes with your vibrational attunement to it.
Right. Okay, so a lot of times when I talk to my friends that are in this mindset of needing to go to college and needing to do this, and then they need to go and get that job and then get a 401k and save and do that stuff, what advice can I give them, or what can I say to them that, I know I can't force them to do anything because they create their own reality, but what is it that I can cue up in their minds to make them think of more for themselves?
We would say to them that the more exposure you have to the more others, the more personal asking you will do that will serve you well. In other words, it isn't what you are learning in the classroom that is your true benefit. It's the exposure to life. It's the contrast that produces within you personal and important and unique desire.
Okay.
So we would say to them, and we would like it if you would say to them, that once a desire is born within them, they have easy access to it, but they've got to stop arguing for their limitations, and they've got to stop blaming establishments and giving the establishments the power to prevent them from their access, because the establishment can't prevent them from their access, but their individual belief that the establishment is preventing them from their access prevents them from the access.
Right. Okay.
You want to teach through the clarity of your example. You want to teach through the clarity of your own alignment. You want to demonstrate the power of your own personal desire. You want to show consistency in your conversation about the things that matter to you. You want to demonstrate the law of attraction's response to your consistent offering. You want to let them be aware of your own guidance system. If you find yourself in some negative emotion, speak it out loud and say, I can feel myself right here, right now, denying myself access to things that I have already created. And I'm in the process now of wanting to release this resistance in order to allow myself conscious access to the path that will lead me to it. I've never wanted someone to give me something. I came here because I want to create my own reality. I wanted the thrill of the exposure of life, and oh boy, have we had a lot of exposure to life. And I can feel the bigness of what we have set into motion. And I know for sure that that bigness will be manifest to all of us in our own experience if we will allow it to be. And so when your friends see you reveling with appreciation about things, and maybe they're even making fun of you because they think you have a warped point of view, that you're not really facing reality, just say to them, hey, I don't face reality, I create reality.
All right. I like that. Cool.
I know that I have created. I know that there is a vibrational reality that exists that I have access to. And I'm working to bring myself into a vibrational point of attraction so that I will see it when it is near me. And every master of everything, every brilliant genius scientist or entrepreneur, anyone who has made his fortune doing anything has done exactly what I'm doing right now. He lived enough life until he birthed a dream. He kept his dream alive, even though contrast kept him from it sometimes. But he knew, he could tell by the way he felt when he was on the path and when he was not. And the difference between those who have outrageous success and those who have no success are those that are able to keep their eye on something before it is tangible. If we need it to be tangible before we believe it, we're just regurgitators, running around just regurgitating what somebody else has done, and usually feeling pretty complacent sometimes and entitled at other times, but never proud, never significant, never empowered, never like the creative genius that we are. Demonstrate your knowing through your alignment, and don't try too hard to convince those who are arguing against it. Because if that's the mode they're in at any point in time, then there's not much that you can say that's going to really shift that. And the likelihood of them taking you from your alignment is often greater than you bringing them into alignment. And that's why you find yourself sort of struggling about who to hang around with. Because law of attraction is yielding to you a whole new set of cooperative components. And often, those that you've been moving through life with have demonstrated that they are more or less uncooperative components to some of the things that you are coming to understand. Uncooperative components sound like this. It's somebody else's fault. Uncooperative components sound like this. I don't feel like doing anything. Uncooperative components sound like this. Somebody owes me something more than they're giving me. Uncooperative components sound like this. You're the reason that things aren't going well for me. And while there are masses of uncooperative components moving around this planet, the balance of cooperative components is becoming stronger every day. It does not matter if anybody gets this but you. The law of attraction will support you in what you are knowing until somebody else gets it and joins you. You can't not succeed knowing what you know. We know that all good teachers, and you are that, want to uplift others to the satisfaction that you have discovered. But it's important to remember that Jerry told Esther the story many times. He was training to be a lifeguard in New Orleans, in Lake Pontchartrain. And he was told, Jerry, sometime you're going to encounter somebody that is not going to cooperate with you, and you have to let them drown. And Jerry said, I could not do that. I've been born to help, and now I've been trained to be a lifeguard. And his coach said, well, if he drowns you, then you'll save no one else. In other words, play with the cooperative ones. But if they're determined to struggle themselves into drowning, they'll take you down with them. And so it's a sort of extreme analogy, but it applies. Because when you become this teacher that you are, and you have this attitude, you have two very powerful intentions that are converging, and they converge in a positive way. The first one is one of powerful personal intent to succeed. You can feel that really strong within you. But the other is wanting to uplift and assist others as well. Well, if you get too into service, where you're trying to provide for another the path of least resistance, a path that they're not ready for, you'll get weary. So if you can just remember that everyone has access, and everyone has a path, and everyone has guidance, and the fastest way for you to help them find their guidance is for you to find yours and fixate on it, then Some, not all, but some. Even a lot, not all, but some. Quite a few. Not most, but some. Quite a few will say to you, I see what you are doing, and I see the results that you're getting. Can you tutor me? Can you let me know? Can you let me know why things are working out so well for you? And you'll say, yeah, there's this thing called law of attraction, and it's everywhere. And I got this guidance system within me, and so do you. And every time I feel negative emotion, I'm off track from what I want. And it doesn't matter how defensive I get or how many other people I get to agree with me that I'm getting a wrong deal on whatever it is. The more I focus on what's not working, the more I hold myself out of sync with what is working. And once I figured that out, and I stopped needing things to be better in order to feel better, I just felt better because I knew how to feel better. Once I got that turned around, then everything started following my emotion. I live unconditionally now. I'm happy with no good reason, and then the reasons come. I'm confident with no good reason, and then the reasons come. I feel prosperous with no good reason, and then the prosperity comes. I've got my priorities straight. How I feel matters most, because alignment trumps everything. Enough?
I have another entirely different question.
Yes?
So the evolution in healing, there's Eastern medicine and then there's Western medicine.
And evolution in all of it.
And evolution in all of it, exactly. But I've had acupuncture before, and a friend of mine does Reiki. Splendid experiences with both. I guess with Western medicine, I haven't had the same results. So why is it that I get a stronger result from Eastern medicine than I do Western medicine?
Because of your beliefs. Because you've pushed harder against Western medicine because of all of the things that you were talking about in the beginning here.
Okay.
And in all of them, there is a sort of reaching outside of yourself for the remedy when your cells have direct access to source. But whatever it takes to cause you to allow the well-being to flow, we encourage. And so that's why all of these medical modalities are important, because they're working for some. Esther was, many years ago, enraged by something she was seeing on television. It was medical commercials. 1 out of every 5 has it, and you're probably the one, is what the commercial was basically saying. And she is arguing with the television and wanting to throw the remote control at the television because it was annoying her. And once
They're infuriating, aren't they?
And then she settled down and meditated for a little while, and then was able to hear the conversation that we were presenting to her. And we said, Esther, these facilities exist not to take advantage of mankind. They are born out of the desires of mankind. They are, for many, many people, the path of least resistance, because they want recovery and don't believe in their own process, because they want recovery and don't believe in the integrity of their own physical body. They want recovery, and so they have actually created these facilities. These facilities have grown up out of the requests of mankind. Don't condemn them. Bless them for those that they are serving. And you choose what serves you best, you see.
Yeah.